Think about the last time you spent an hour scrolling through a heated debate in a comment section. You read every single reply. You noticed the subtle logical fallacies, the hidden insecurities in people's arguments, and the way the conversation shifted from logic to emotion. But throughout that entire hour, you never once reached for the keyboard. You didn't feel the need to fix a wrong opinion, and you didn't feel the urge to add your own 2 cents for a few likes. To the rest of the digital world, you are a lurker, a ghost in the machine. But in the sanctuary of deep psychology, this is what we call the ghost protocol. It is a biological marker of invisible observer intelligence. You possess a rare level of elite emotional self-sufficiency, where your brain values the pure acquisition of data over the social mirror of digital validation. You aren't passive. You are a sentinel who prioritizes root cause truth and pattern recognition over social performance. Welcome to MindUnlockx. As we've established, we don't do motivation, and we definitely don't do surface-level advice. We are a sanctuary for deep thinkers and the rare minds who want to understand the hidden architecture of their own behavior. You are likely someone who has always felt a bit different, perhaps someone who has been told you think too much or that you're too quiet. But today we are going to decode why your habit of staying invisible is actually a high-status psychological advantage. To understand the power of the invisible observer, we have to dive straight into our first point, the death of the social mirror. The first reason you have invisible observer intelligence is that you have achieved a rare state of elite emotional self-sufficiency. Most people are slaves to what psychology calls the social mirror, the constant need to see themselves reflected in the reactions of others. When the average person posts a comment, they aren't just sharing an idea. They are seeking a hit of dopamine through likes and replies to validate that their thoughts matter. They are too available to the opinions of strangers, which often makes society value their input less. But you have effectively killed the social mirror. By reading everything and posting nothing, you are practicing radical autonomy. You don't need a stranger's like to confirm that your observation was correct. You've reached the stage where you stop explaining yourself to the world, because you've realized that once you realize nobody cares, you win. We don't do motivation here, because the why is your real power. Your brain is practicing superior neural efficiency. You recognize that engaging in a digital argument is a low-value transaction. Instead of wasting your cognitive bandwidth on a social performance that leads nowhere, you are saving your CPU power for the high-level synthesis of information. You are a high-resolution mind that views the comment section as a laboratory for human behavior, not a stage for your ego. The second point is that your lurking is actually a sign of the Sentinel Mind. Many invisible observers possess traumatic intelligence, a high-resolution awareness often forged in an environment where you had to raise yourself, or survive as the black sheep of the family. In a chaotic or unpredictable childhood, you learn that safety comes from observation, not participation. You became the child who could read the mood of a room before anyone even spoke. As an adult, this translates into a biological need for environmental mastery. When you enter a digital space, your brain doesn't see a community. It sees an environment that needs to be solved. You read every comment to map out the social dynamics, to identify the threats, and to understand the hidden intentions of the participants. You are the sentinel who always sits with their back to the wall in a restaurant, and you apply that same defensive resilience to the internet. You stay invisible because it gives you the ultimate vantage point. You are practicing the 6 ways to protect your peace without cutting everyone off. You are in the room, but you are not of the room. The silence isn't a lack of confidence, it is your surveillance. You are gathering the silent signals that everyone else is too busy talking to notice. Third, we have to look at strategic energy allocation. For a deep thinker, energy is a finite currency that must be spent with extreme precision. You likely have too many interests, and feel like 10 lifetimes wouldn't be enough to do everything you want. Because your brain is built for the M-shaped future, you are constantly synthesizing information from a dozen different sources at once. When you're reading a comment section, your brain is performing cross-modal analysis. You are taking in the emotional tone, the vocabulary, the cultural context, and the logical structure of 1,000 different viewpoints. To then stop and write a post would be a system interruption. It would break your intake flow. You choose to remain an invisible observer because you value the unique portfolio of knowledge you are building more than you value the momentary high of social engagement. You are practicing a high IQ habit of valuing the acquisition of root cause truth over the digital noise of self-expression. While others are spending their thoughts, you are investing yours. You are the polymath who realized that the most powerful thing you can do with information is to hold on to it until it's time to build something truly unstoppable. Point number 4 is your elite level of pattern recognition. Because you spend so much time observing without participating, you see the matrix of human behavior in a way that active posters never can. You notice the silent signals, the way certain phrases indicate a specific personality type, or how a toxic person uses manipulative humor to silence others. You are building a massive internal behavioral database. Just as the messaging archivalist keeps old texts to predict future behavior, the invisible observer archives the social patterns of entire demographics. This is a sign of superior neural efficiency. You can walk into a new social situation, online or offline, and within minutes, you've already predicted how everyone will react. You are the person who sees everything but stays silent because you already know the ending of the movie. You aren't surprised by human nature because you've seen the raw data in the comments. This makes you impossible to manipulate. You aren't swayed by the crowd because you spent your life watching the crowd make the same mistakes over and over again. Your silence is a sign that you have achieved elite cognitive stability in a world of digital hysteria. The 5th reason you are an invisible observer is your commitment to radical autonomy. We live in an era of social performance, where we are told that if we didn't post about it, it didn't happen. The 9-to-5 social grind demands constant accessibility and constant feedback. But the person who can read everything and stay silent is society's biggest threat, because they cannot be reached by these traditional hooks. You have the psychology of people who don't need validation. You are likely someone who loves staying at home, or who chooses a table for one, because your internal world is your primary source of entertainment. You don't need a digital audience to confirm your existence. This makes you hyper-independent, a trait often found in those who were raised without applause. You learn to find satisfaction in the doing and the knowing, not in the showing. By refusing to post, you are setting a boundary with the world. You are deciding that your thoughts are your own private portfolio, and that the internet is not entitled to your intellectual labor. You are the digital ghost who has realized that the ultimate power in a noisy world is the ability to remain invisible while seeing everything. Point 6 focuses on how your observer status is a guardian of root-cause truth. For many who grew up as the black sheep, or in the forgotten generation, surface-level advice and fake respect were never enough. You learn to look for the why beneath the what. You are the person who overthinks everything because you are searching for the underlying mechanics of reality. When you lurk in a comment section, you are searching for the root cause of people's beliefs. You are analyzing the lifelong effects of their experiences and how it shapes their current digital behavior. You aren't interested in winning an argument. You are interested in decoding the complex mechanics of the human mind. This is traumatic intelligence at its highest level. You use your invisibility as a shield. If you post, you become a target. If you stay silent, you remain the judge. You are practicing the raced kind of strength, the strength to hold the truth without needing to be right in the eyes of others. You are a sentinel, protecting the sanctuary of your own clarity, refusing to let the static of other people's projections cloud your judgment. Finally, point number 7, the power of the invisible sentinel. At MindUnlockx, we believe that silence is not an absence of thought, but a concentration of it. If you are an invisible observer, realize that you are not broken or antisocial. You possess elite emotional self-sufficiency and a high-resolution mind that is built for the complexities of the future. You are a polymath in training, a sentinel on watch, and a radical independent who has mastered the art of ghost protocol. Your habit of reading every comment without posting is a sign of superior neural efficiency. You are the quietest person in the room that society should fear, because you are the only one who truly knows what's going on. You have realized that nobody cares about your digital footprint as much as they care about their own ego, and in that realization, you found your freedom. You are society's biggest threat because you are unmanipulable, unshakable, and entirely self-contained. If this description felt like it was written just for you, if you're an invisible observer who finally feels understood, let me know in the comments, or don't. I know you're there, and that's enough. But if you're tired of surface-level advice and want to keep decoding the hidden psychology of your unique traits, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Join our sanctuary here at MindUnlockx, where we find clarity in a noisy world. Thank you for watching and keep observing. Your silence is your greatest strength.